Welcome back to Culinary Alchemy. When I was rummaging through my refrigerator earlier this morning, I came across some sour cream that was in much need of use. So I've decided to demonstrate how to make a very tasty sour cream coffee cake. First, start by preheating your oven to 350 degrees. Then find yourself a 9-inch springform pan. Lightly grease it, line it with a piece of parchment paper, and then lightly grease it again and dust it with flour and set it aside. Next, we need to make the streusel topping and filling. So we're going to start with 1/3 cup of light brown sugar placed into our food processor, along with 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar, 1½ teaspoons of cinnamon, and 1 cup of pecans or walnuts. I've decided to use pecans, but you can use whichever one you like. And then we're going to pulse them very briefly until they're coarsely chopped. So when your nut mixture is coarsely chopped, set aside 3/4 cup for the filling. Then take 1/2 cup of unsifted cake flour and add it to the processor, along with a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract and 4 tablespoons of softened unsalted butter. Continue to pulse until the mixture is coarse and crumbly, and we're going to use this coarse crumbly mixture for our topping. Pulsing the mixture takes no time at all. When it's coarse and crumbly, this is what it should look like. So once you've got your topping made, reserve that, and then it's time to make the cake batter. And now for the sour cream cake batter. You'll need 2/3 cup of sour cream in total. You're going to take about 1/4 of that sour cream and add it to a bowl along with 4 egg yolks and 1½ teaspoons of vanilla, and lightly blend them together. Once you have them blended, take 2 cups of sifted cake flour, put it in the bowl of an electric mixer fitted with a paddle attachment. Along with 1 cup of granulated sugar, and a mixture of 1/2 teaspoon baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon baking powder, and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And mix it for about 30 seconds just to incorporate them. When mixing your dry ingredients, make sure to mix them on low speed or you might find yourself in a cloud of flour. Once your ingredients are mixed, you want to add 12 tablespoons of unsalted room temperature butter to your dry ingredients, along with your remaining sour cream. Once you've got everything in your bowl, mix the ingredients together on low speed just until they're moistened. Then turn the speed up to medium and mix for about 1½ minutes until they're completely incorporated and they get a light, airy texture. When your batter is light and airy in texture, scrape down the sides of your bowl. Then add your egg yolk mixture in 3 additions. You want to add your egg yolks and beat them for about 20 seconds after each addition until they're fully incorporated into the mixture. Once all of the eggs have been added, then you want to scrape down the bottom and sides of your bowl one more time. When your batter is completely blended, you want to take about 1/3 of the batter and put it into a bowl and set it aside. Then take the remaining 2/3 of the batter and place it in your cake pan and spread it evenly over the bottom of the pan. When spreading the batter, I like to use a small offset angled spatula to spread it evenly in the pan. Once your batter is spread evenly in your pan, take your reserved nut streusel filling and place it on top of the first layer of batter. For an extra touch of flavor, I've decided to add a thin layer of sliced peeled apples on top of my filling. This is what the apples on top of the filling look like. I like to add the apples because it adds a little bit of a tartness to the coffee cake and also a little bit of moistness to it. But that's definitely an option and the choice is all yours. Once you have the apples on top of the filling, if you're using them, take the remaining 2/3 of the batter and with a large spoon, just spoon dollops of the remaining batter over the top of the apples, and then spread that batter evenly on top of the apples or just on top of the filling if you're not using the apples. Once your remaining batter is in your pan and nice and smooth like this, although the smoothness isn't critical because you're going to cover it with your streusel topping, then you want to add the topping to the top of the batter. You want it to cover the cake, and you can pat it gently, but don't press it down too hard. Once it's completely covering the cake, place your cake in your oven for about 55 to 60 minutes. If after about a half an hour or 45 minutes you find that the cake is getting too brown on top, you may take a piece of buttered foil and lightly cover the top with the buttered aluminum foil to prevent over browning. Your cake is ready for cooling when a cake tester inserted in the center comes out clean and the cake is lightly springy to the touch and also a nice golden color on the streusel topping. Now you want to let your cake cool for about 10 minutes, and once it cools, we'll come back and we'll remove the sides of the pan, the springform pan, and then let it cool completely. So once the cake has cooled for about 10 minutes, take a small spatula and carefully go around the outside of the cake. Go completely around using just a slight rotating motion of the pan. Once you've gone completely around, gently release the sides of your springform cake pan. Voila! And let your cake cool completely. Can hardly wait to taste that coffee cake with a cup of joe in the morning. How about you?